Hello, I am the Irish guy, and right, I should not be doing this video. I am sick to my eyeballs. I mean, I managed to avoid getting this for 2.5 years of the pandemic, but look at me now. Paler than a penguin's nutsack. I mean, this is the first time I've spoken all day. I sound like the male version of goddamn Penny and Selma. I mean, I should not be doing this video. But hey, I mean, this shows my commitment to you. Alright, you're about to watch something very special. We're knee deep in the summer transfer window, right? So just watch me. Just watch me weigh up the transfer rumors and predict each Premier League club's next transfer. Right, let's go. Arsenal, Gabriel Jesus. If this happens, then I can only imagine how Eddie and Kenny is going to react. I mean, people like to pretend that this fella is about as clinical as a turtle's foreskin. But lads, there's a 23-year-old footballer who's ready to walk away from a mega money contract at a mammoth club like Arsenal to get regular games. I'm sorry, who does that? Rejecting the chance to live in swanky London on a fat £100,000 a week deal? I mean, that's a bit like a 19-year-old girl from Swindon. Someone with a face that resembles a bowl of mashed banana. I mean, it's like her swiping left on Zac Efron. But no, since Nketiah has now signed the contract, he managed to trend on Twitter with attic-dwelling nerds puking internet vomit all over their computer screens at him wearing the Hallowed number 14 shirt was about as disrespectful as stealing shoes from a corpse, right? And now he's about to be chucked back to the bench, just stuffed in the bin as if he's Johnny Depp's pooey bedsheets. Because Gabriel Jesus is your next signing. Lads, Arsenal are going to tie up a £50 million deal. And I'm sorry, considering you paid the same fee for Alexander Lacazette 5 years ago, I mean, this is one hell of a transfer. Jesus is a Brazilian goal machine. Lacazette, 3 goals for France. The same number of international career goals as Bafétimbi Gomi. I mean, very similar level of footballer, which doesn't bode well considering he wants to move to Swansea. But honestly, for the last 5 years, Lacazette wouldn't have looked out of place at West Ham. So I'll move for Jesus from Man City. This will be the club's best signing since Alexis Sanchez. Aston Villa, Nathan Collins. They're right, well, Aston Villa have already done their summer transfer window shopping, right? Apparently they're still sniffing around Nathan Collins though. You know, that young Irish centre half. I'm guessing about 94% of you won't know this, but last week he scored a wonder goal for Ireland. I mean, honestly, the guy's got the feet of Benarfa. He's a decent young centre back, but bad news, Villa. Apparently Burnley want £40 million. Yeah, that's like me charging £2,000 for a jar of my own fingernails. No. Listen, I don't actually want Collins to move to Villa Park. I don't want him becoming the next Axel Tuanzebe or Callum Chambers. You know, rotting on the bench like out-of-date lettuce. I want him to play every week in the Championship, learning under Vincent Kompany, one of the greatest centre-halves to ever play the game. But now, I just know that Burnley are going to cash in next month for about £20 million. I mean, it's going to happen. Bournemouth, Matt Ritchie. Why? Why is this transfer going to happen? It doesn't make sense. I didn't realise that Matt Ritchie's been linked to the move back to Bournemouth every single summer for the last 6 years. Nobody has ever accepted maybe he likes it up north. Yes, his family still live in Bournemouth, but who knows? Maybe he hates his wife. Maybe every time he returns to the family home with his suitcase in his hand, a small part of him instantly dies inside. Listen, I do think this transfer will happen this time, even though it shouldn't. I don't understand. Bournemouth are in the Premier League now. They don't need a championship standard left wing back. I mean, Christ, well, they've already got Robbie Brady to do that and he never plays. Eddie Howe clearly doesn't rate him anymore. Clearly he would sooner floss his nan's belly button than dare to pick Ritchie in defence. So yeah, move to Bournemouth. Brentford, Max Aarons. Brentford want Max Aarons. When this transfer happens, the Norwich City right back will probably be close to tears. Honestly, holding aloft the Brentford shirt, it'll probably bear the same facial expression of someone who's just been forced to marry their sister. Because this is a guy who was always promised so much more. 2 years ago, he nearly became a Barcelona right back. Yeah, Dani Alves is 17 years older than this man, and he's still a far better option than a guy relegated twice for Norwich. Speaking of which, apparently Ronaldo, while manager of Real Valladolid, he wants his 2 fullbacks next season to be Marcelo and Dani Alves. Excuse me while I drool all over my feet. I mean, Aarons wanted more than Brentford, sure, but I'm sorry, beggars can't be choosers. You're honestly one of the most overhyped fullbacks I've ever seen. He's had 2 Premier League seasons. He's been on the winning side 8 times and been on the losing side 50 times. Just like Jamal Lewis, he's another overrated Norwich fullback who's about as defensively competent as dog food cake. So yeah, Brentford it is. Brighton, Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard still doesn't have a club. How is he not sweating through the knees? The man has been officially unemployed for a month. And guess what, buddy? We've only got 5 weekends until the season starts. Okay, trust me, move to Brighton and Hove Albion. For a monster ego like Lingard, he won't be happy. Because he's mates with Paul Pogba, right? And probably views him as his equal. So if Pogba gets a mega money move to Juventus, while he's settling for Brighton and Hove Albion, I mean, it's a bit like coming out of school. I mean, your best mate gets a top job at Google. You're instead cleaning a mechanic's toilet for minimum wage. But why not? There's a fellow who's already paid for the club on loan, and through gritted teeth, I will admit that Brighton play a fluid, nice, pretty style of football that Lingard would enjoy. I mean, why not? Why not a freebie move to Brighton? I realise he's a revered Manchester United alumni, but good Christ, if it was good enough for Danny Welbeck, it's good enough for Jesse. Chelsea, Richarlison. If this happens, I might actually chew off a chunk of my knee. But you know what? This looks like it will happen. Frank Lampard is going to kiss goodbye to Richarlison as he ships him off to Chelsea for a mega money fee. I mean, this is gathering traction. I mean, am I even who thinks this guy is an overrated fish? And if it wasn't for the Brazil hype, if he didn't look like Neymar and instead had a bowl haircut and hailed from Cuba, nobody would look at this guy twice. I mean, what business did Chelsea have buying a striker who was nearly relegated to the Championship? When was the last time a top 4 club signed a striker from a relegation scrap and for it to turn out to be a success? I mean, I'll tell you, Carlos Tevez in 2006. But yeah, this will happen. I just know it will. I mean, just give him the number 9 shirt and have him French kiss a witch, because honestly, we know he's getting swallowed by the curse. Crystal Palace, Emmanuel Dennis. Doesn't this just feel like a Crystal Palace transfer? I mean, what they need right now is a centre forward. I know Emmanuel Dennis often played on the left wing for Watford, but lads, he got 10 goals last season. He's a centre forward. I can see a £15 million deal next month. Why not? Everton, Alexander Zinchenko. This will be the second Ukrainian left back that Everton have signed this year. That's kind of nice. But lads, honestly, this might be utterly brilliant. And the catalyst behind Man City's title win, Guardiola has decided to chuck Zinchenko into a box of uneaten shreddies and choosing to replace him with a left back from Brighton. The utter disrespect. Listen, this will be Everton's marquee signing. I mean, weirdly, there's a man who only when he's halfway to 50 has piped up and told everyone that actually he's a central midfielder. Honestly, there's like some quarter-life change of heart. I reckon there's a £25 million move waiting to happen. If Frank Lampard can sort his team out, he is going to be a monster midfield signing. Although again, more embarrassment for Dele Alli. This time you're losing your place to a left back.
Will the misery never end?
Fulham, Jamal Lascelles. Yeah, this is a bit left field, but I'm calling it. Fulham are signing the captain of the richest club in the world. I mean, imagine telling a Fulham fan that last year. They'd be fantasizing about bringing in someone like Kevin De Bruyne or Marquinhos. Nah, instead it's Jamal Lascelles? Someone about as appealing as mouth ulcers in your face? Listen, clearly Newcastle have outgrown Lascelles. I mean, let's be honest, he's St. James's Park's answer to Harry Maguire. A clumsy penguin bar centre half who isn't actually good enough for the starting 11, let alone having the captain's armband wrapped around his bicep. And I actually think this will be a disaster move. A bit like when the club paid big for Alfie Mawson, only to quickly realise that his mere presence caused the fan base to hyperventilate into a shoe. Leeds, Ben Brereton Diaz. Initially I thought it'd be Takumi Minamino, but he's going to Monaco. I need this video to be done. Let's say Ben Brereton Diaz for Blackburn. They need goals. Next, Leicester Maxwell Cornet. Doesn't this just seem like a Leicester signing? Isn't this exactly what they did last summer? Pinch a footballer who impressed for a team relegated to the Championship. Yes, Adamola Lookman, we're looking at you. I mean, he was good on loan at Fulham, even if he did stupidly choose to Panenka a penalty in the last minute, which set the tone for their pig rotten season, was making him look like he's got the intelligence of a brick. But Cornet, it's spookily similar. Again, quality player for Burnley, chipping in with 9 goals, but again, also missed a stupid penalty against West Ham. Honestly, Lucas Fabianski is an aging Polish old man, and he has still made both these boys look like lumps of scrambled egg. But I can see this. Brendan Rodgers will sign him in a £15 million deal. Why not? Liverpool, Ben Foster. Liverpool's transfer window is done, right? But don't think for one second that Queven Kelleher won't have watched his Ireland goalkeeping rival Gavin Bazunu get a massive move from Man City to Southampton and won't have been a bit jealous, because Bazunu's in the Premier League and he's on course to be the next Shay Given. So don't think for one second that right now Kelleher is not sitting on a beach in Mykonos screaming down the phone to his agent to get him a loan move away. Honestly, I can see him getting a loan switch to someone like Blackburn or Middlesbrough in the Championship, leaving Jurgen Klopp to drag in free agent Ben Foster through the door in a last minute August panic grab. I mean, why not? Man United signed Tom Heaton last summer, and Man City employs Scott Carson. When it comes to backup goalies, anything can happen. Man City, Mark Cucurella. I'll be honest, Mark Cucurella cried after scoring against Man United in April, not for one second did I think that Pep Guardiola would be watching a left back and licking his lips. Never in a million years did I think this guy would wind up signing for the champions of England. Cucurella will be a Manchester City footballer, and he's almost certainly going to be a flop. I'm sorry, but he's going to be a £50 million buy. But no chance in a kissing's belly button does he dislodge João Cancelo from left back. I mean, Zinchenko started 10 league games last season. Are you really spending £50 million on someone to do that? Man United, Antony. Surely Manchester United are going to do something soon. Up until this point, the fans have been forced to read that they're interested in buying either Carl Darlow or Daniel Bachmann, which is a bit like your mother telling you she's off to do a poo on the lawn. Please don't tell me that. But the marquee deal is going to be Antony from Ajax, an exciting 22-year-old Brazilian baller who looks incredible on YouTube. But I mean, it's the Dutch league, and I remember similar hype 10 years ago for Lucas Moura when Manchester United were so desperate to buy him, and that's back when they were the best team in England. But Moura, one legendary Champions League game aside, which weirdly came against Ajax, he's just had a career on par with Aaron Lennon. Antony might be incredible, he looks the part, I mean he's stylish and flash, but Memphis Depay was all of that in the Eredivisie. And like Antony, he was a wonderful Instagram footballer, yes, but being forced to watch him in a Man United shirt, about as much fun as chewing your granny's toast. Newcastle, Nick Pope. Yeah, this transfer is pretty much already done. Newcastle are signing Nick Pope, Burnley's number 1. Bit harsh on Martin Dubravka, but I mean, he's a top-class goalie, so good signing Newcastle. Honestly, lads, I would love to elaborate on this, but honestly, I need my bed. Nottingham Forest, Dean Henderson. This one is pretty much done. Dean Henderson wanted to be Manchester United number 1. Instead, you're essentially where you were 3 years ago, just loaned out to some team in a relegation dogfight. Honestly, Henderson is halfway to 50 years of age. Forest are a big club, yes, but this loan deal must be very underwhelming. It was only 2 years ago he's a £50 million Chelsea target. But yeah, this will be Forest's next signing. But this just stinks of Joe Hart without the career, when he was forced to settle for any loan offer that came his way. But at least he could console himself with the fact that he'd already made it. But Henderson... ugh. Southampton, Nico Williams. I know the writing is on the wall for Fulham to take Nico Williams in a permanent move from Liverpool, but Southampton have shown an interest too. I mean, God knows why. They've already got one right back who was in the England squad recently, and the other one, last Halloween, he was linked with a big money return to Chelsea. I think this club is fine for right backs, but still, the rumours won't go away, so yeah, why not? Tottenham, Jed Spence. Isn't this practically a done deal? Next, West Ham, Armando Broja. Armando Broja is the next West Ham centre forward, taking him from Chelsea in a £30 million deal. I mean, trust me, give it a few days, and we're going to see this guy doing the Irons Cross on the club's website. I mean, trust me, this is happening. Although a bit of a risk. Yeah, he's 20 and showed promise on loan at Southampton, but you're paying £30 million for a centre forward with 6 goals in the Premier League. Don't tell me this isn't a financial risk. Wolves, Mateus Nunes. That's the end of the video, lads. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.